Hi, I'm Mike Regan with TranzAct's 2-minute warning for the week of October 6th. The possibility of a supply chain storm is more real than you know. In our 2-minute warning last week, we talked about the possibility of a supply chain storm hitting shore sometime in the near future, like 2015. Now, some of you got back to us and said, boy, do you really think that's going to occur? Or are you just trying to grab our attention like a boy crying wolf or the sky is falling type thing? Well, we think the possibility of a supply chain storm is more real than you may know. And we say this for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is if you take a look at what's going on with the rail sector and the motor carrier sector, you see a picture where the networks are full. So for rail industry, their network up in the upper Midwest, or even their capacity off the West Coast in the things that they can do at the ports, is constrained by the fact that they're pretty much operating at capacity. Now, with respect to the motor carrier sector, we see that the truckload and LTL carriers also have a lot of freight moving in their system. Now, what happens when that occurs? Well, I want you to think back to a conversation I had with the CEO of a large LTL carrier a couple years ago. He said, Mike, LTL industry is pretty easy to understand. What you do is you get your trailers as full as possible. Once your trailers are full, you start to cull or get rid of the least profitable freight. And that's why some shippers who have freight that's moving with an operating margin in excess of 100 are seeing some very sizable rate increases from their carriers. As a matter of fact, when I got a call from one LTL shipper, he said, Mike, how can the carriers do this? I mentioned they can do it because right now they have the pricing leverage. Now, another reason we think the supply chain storm is imminent is because of what's going on with the infrastructure. At the CSCMP conference, I moderated a panel discussion where Bob Voltman said, look what happens when our highways, when I start to slow down trucks. If the average mile per hour for a truck is 50 and I slow that down to 45 or 46 miles an hour, I'm losing a lot of capacity. And that's why we make such a big deal about the need for Congress to get together to make sure we're investing in our roads and bridges. Now, there are a lot of other facts and figures we could throw at you, but the reality of it is, if a supply chain storm is imminent, it has an impact on what you're going to pay to move freight from point A to point B, and it's going to have an impact on your budget. Now, if you want more information about how you can manage through these storms and how you can do a great job of managing your transportation and supply chain spend, give us a call or send us an email here today at TranzAct. With each and every 2-minute warning, we want to remind you, we're on your team, we're here to help, and we are passionate about seeing you be successful in successfully navigating these supply chain storms. Thanks for your time.